Hello everyone, Bruce Elgort here with a video on tables. This is the second video on tables, and if you haven't watched the first one, I recommend that you do. In this video, we're going to be introducing the TH tag, the table heading tag, and we will also talk about the default borders applied to tables and how to make them go away and be, a single border. But before we start in on the TH tag, somebody suggested that I clean up my markup from the first video a little bit, my HTML markup, and I've done that here. If you look at line number 9 through line number 13, that is the first table row. And instead of having all the tags next to each other, I indented the TD tags, right? This is column 1, column 2, column 3, all within the row to be a little bit more readable. And yes, that code is a lot more readable than what we saw in video number 1, okay? Now, before we carry on, I'm just going to show you what this code, what the rendering of that code looks like. And here it is. We have 3 rows with 3 columns in each row. Now, I'm sure you've seen, right, in tables on the web, you've seen some type of heading above each column to describe the type of data that's going to, be in that column, right? So how do you do that? So the first thing you're going to do is add a table row at the very top above the other above the other rows, and then you're going to insert a whole bunch of what we call TD tags, right? And we have 3 columns of data, so I want a heading to appear above each one. And in the first column, we're going to say, hey, this is column 1, right? And then in the second, this is column 2. And in the third, this is column 3, okay? So let's render that. And do you see what we have here? We have column 1, column 2, and column 3. But what's wrong? What did I do? Those are just regular TDs. Okay, we want this to be a heading. I should have put TH tags in here. Okay, so TH, and closing TH. Sorry if this is a little confusing, but I think it's worthwhile just to see the difference here. So I changed those TDs to THs, which I probably said and I didn't do. And now if I refresh this, right, if I refresh it, you'll notice that we have centered, right, descriptions, and they're bold. They're bolded, right, like a column heading should be, okay? So that's the way, right, a TH works, a TH tag, a table heading. Now, don't think that just because they're at the top, you can't use them anywhere else, because sometimes in a table, you'll want to display lots of different, types of data. So just know that you could put a TH tag, right, elsewhere within your table. Okay, so again, here is the markup on the left, and here is the table that you see on the right. Now, what do you notice that, well, there's a couple things here. Let's talk about the TH tags first. They don't have any borders on them, and that's because in our style sheet here, we defined TD to have a border, but if we want to also have TH tags, okay, and that's what the comma is saying, take the TD tags and the TH tags and give them a border of 1 pixel solid black. So let me go back here and refresh. And now we have the 3 columns centered, bolded, okay, and they have a border around them, okay? Now, look really closely at the borders in this table. You see how it's like it has a thickness that's white in the middle, okay? Now, by default, that's the way browsers render tables. Now, if we go into our CSS, and I'm going to go into my CSS right here, and I'm going to add a new rule, okay? And I'm going to say here that border collapse, I'm going to say collapse. Border collapse, collapse. the property border collapse and the value collapse. Now watch what happens to the entire table. Look at that. The double border is gone. See? That's pretty neat, right? That's way more readable and doesn't look as maybe quote unquote old, right, as the table with the other border. One other thing I want to show you here. These TDs right here, the row 1, column 1, the row 2, column, look at that. Oh, that's right. Row 1, column 1, row 2, column 1. I had to lean into the screen there to see it. You see how the text is butted right up against the cell? Could we, if we wanted to, use our CSS goodness, right, and say, hey, give it some padding. Let's give it 10 pixels. 10 pixels. Save it. Refresh. Do you see that? Do you see what happened here? We gave it some padding. And if we wanted to apply, right, maybe we wanted to move that table, away from certain things. Maybe we want it to have a margin top of, say, 30 pixels. Okay, 30 pixels. You see how it moved 30 pixels down? Okay, let me show you one more thing, and then we'll be done with this part of the video. We'll leave that there. Could I give my table a width? Could I say, make it 100% of the browser? Could I do that? Yeah, look at that. You see how now the table fills the screen. In fact, let me see if I can, do that. Lower right-hand corner. You see how it's 100% of the browser. Okay. Let's go back to the markup and wrap up. So in this video, I showed you a little bit neater markup, okay, with proper indentation. We added at the very top a table row, and inside a whole bunch of TH tags, okay, for table headings. And sorry about making them TDs first, but it was good to see what the difference between the two were, okay. And I also stated that you could put THs at the bottom, right, or anywhere else in a table. In fact, just before we go here, I'll add that copy of that row to the bottom. There it is. And if I go back to the browser and I refresh it, there we have the same THs at the bottom. Okay. If you have any questions, let your instructor know. And thanks for watching part 2 of HTML tables.